One Zambia, one nation. Welcome to the news. I am your presenter, Henry Himonde. The headlines in our news. Government committed to uphold cultural values. Security wings intercept over 30 trucks carrying maize. Floods disrupt health services in Chiwombo district. And World Vision launches forest restoration project. Zanis news in detail with our first item from Eastern Province, where the Ngoni people of Zambia, Malawi and Mozambique have today celebrated the Ntwala traditional ceremony with a call for people to embrace peace and unity as a catalyst for achieving national development. And President Hakainde Hichilema, who was represented at the ceremony, has reaffirmed government's continued support to events such as traditional ceremonies, which are aimed at uniting the country for a common goal. Mijelo Lubinda now reports.
Celebrations to mark the climax of the Nkwala traditional ceremony of the Ngoni people of Zambia, Malawi and Mozambique have been held at the usual hosting place, Mutenguleni village in Kasenengwa district of Eastern Province. The ceremony, which was held under the theme 4040 Love, Peace and Unity, was special as it marked 40 years of Paramount Chief Mpezeni to be on the throne. In his speech through a representative, Chief Mpezeni underscored the need for the country to embrace peace, unity, love, forgiveness and reconciliation as they are tools towards fostering national development.
I strongly urge all politicians to defend and sustain the desire and dream of the founding fathers of this country that we remain united under the slogan of One Zambia, One Nation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, one may ask, what lessons and advice do I as Ingwenyama bring to the Zambian people after 40 years of the Ngoni throne? I wish to tell you, in my 40 years of experience on the throne, I've come to learn that the hope and future of Zambia lies in peace, unity, love, and forgiveness.
And Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Gary Nkombo, reaffirmed government support to initiatives aimed at promoting peace and unity in the country.
King Mpezeni Ngwenyama, number 4, who is calling for unity in his message. He's calling for unity, he's calling for forgiveness, he's calling for love, he's calling for togetherness, he's also calling for devotion to one another. Thank you for traveling all those many miles to come here to Mutenguleni, our village.
Meanwhile, the Food Reserve Agency has expressed concern with the continued smuggling of mealie meal and maize in 2 neighboring countries.
Of government here, we have noticed a very disturbing pattern as Food Reserve Agency here in the Eastern Province. I discussed this matter with the King last evening. There is rampant smuggling of mealie meal and maize across here into Malawi. The maize that we are giving millers, Honorable Nkombo, is subsidized. It is meant to cushion minimum prices in the country.
And various sponsors also pledged to work with.
And the Zambia National Service Deputy Commander Major General Ruben Mwewa says the command is committed to fulfilling the presidential pronouncement of removing rigidities towards implementation of projects across the country. Speaking when he paid a courtesy call on Rufunsa District Commissioner, Major General Mwewa said it is ZNS's desire to remove the rigidities surrounding most of the agricultural projects to ensure development is enhanced in the country. Our staffer Musikio Ntembe gives us more.
This is the abandoned $1.4 million irrigation project in Shikabeta Chiefdom in Rufunsa district of Lusaka province, which was funded by the African Development Bank and the Zambian government under the Agricultural Productivity and Market Enhancement Project (APMEP) to enhance food security in the district. The neglected project has been a source of concern to the district administration and the Shikabeta Royal Establishment. Zambia National Service Deputy Commander Major General Ruben Mwewa has led a high-level delegation to check on the abandoned project and see on how they can actualize this irrigation project. Major General Mwewa says the Zambia National Service is committed to fulfilling the presidential pronouncement of removing rigidities towards implementation of projects.
Our hope is that this site within Rufunsa, through this engagement, will be able to remove the rigidities. You've seen the president has been using that word. For 2023, declared that we want to remove rigidities so that we are able to implement projects that are able to benefit the people. So even through this engagement, our expectation and our desire as a national service is that we remove the rigidities around the implementation of this project, so that we are able to see how we can probably bring the service into this area, particular project, and see what we can do together.
Rufunsa District Commissioner Richard Mabena is happy with the coming in of Zambia National Service to take over the project.
Your coming in the district, me, I'm very, very much grateful. And because immediately we do that, you take over. One, it will create employment. Two, it will open up the district. The status of the district will change.
Chief Shikabeta's senior advisor, Agnes Kalonga, says the chief is eager to see that the irrigation project comes to a reality and will support any stakeholder who will make this happen.
So, please, you are welcome. Do everything, anything possible to run the institution there.
Reporting in Rufunsa District, I'm Msekiwa Ntembe.
And from Central Province, over 200,000 by 50 kilogram bags of white maize laden on 30 trucks and allegedly destined for export to Tanzania without valid export permits have been impounded in Kapirimposhi district. The maize was impounded around 18 hours yesterday at Nkumbi police checkpoint between Kapirimposhi and Mukushi districts by a combined team of the Zambia National Service and Zambia police officers. Details in this report by Carlos Wunda.
Some of the trucks laden with maize dubiously cleared for export, but alleged security officers at Nkumbi police checkpoint between Kapirimposhi and Mukushi districts have foiled the scam, which seemingly has been going on for some time now. Over 20,000 by 50 kg bags of maize, allegedly destined for export to Tanzania through Nakonde, have since been impounded after the owners produced forged export permits.
These trucks do not have the right documents for their movements. They have what we can simply say in simple terms that fake documents that have been cooked by very clever people who wanted to defraud the nation of these great resources, which should have been paid in the right way. So this maize will be impounded until they are cleared in the right way.
In view of the recent mealie meal price hikes, government instituted measures to prevent smuggling of maize and mealie meal out of the country.
We have a very big challenge in the country. Smuggling of mealie meal. This is the one which has costed us very much actually. As New Dawn government, we want to tolerate this system of smuggling without papers, without the documents. And we have seen it, we have witnessed it here where we are. We have seen a lot of trucks are passing without documents, which is not a good thing actually.
Owners of the contraband and hired Tanzanian transporters are this to say.
We've been applying for permits, export permits from the Ministry of Agriculture. Now at the middle of the road, the Ministry of Agriculture stopped giving us permits. And we did not know why they stopped.
Yani tulikuwa tunaomba vyovyote vinavyowezekana makontena yanadaiwa storage, kwa hiyo tunaomba msaada vyovyote vinavyowezekana mtusaidie ili tuweze kwenda tu.
Carlos Wunda, Zanis, Kapirimposhi.
Also in the news, acting Central Province Education Standards Officer Tommy Kamalata says government is keen to eradicate tuberculosis by 2030. He says this is evident in the strategies that the authority is using in achieving this target, such as raising awareness about the disease. More in this report.
What I simply mean by early diagnosis is that we should identify TB patients at the early time. When we identify them and give them treatment at the early time, we can reduce TB by 2030.
One of the targets of Sustainable Development Goals for the period 2015-2030 is to end global TB epidemic. In this vein, the New Dawn government is using a multi-sectoral approach system to raise awareness about the disease. To support this, pupils in Shirunji district of Central Province took to stage to debate on the motion, eradicating tuberculosis is an attainable target by 2030. And speaking on behalf of Central Province Provincial Education Officer, Tommy Kamalata says the highlight of the event was to raise awareness about tuberculosis among school-going children.
Debating, the listeners, they are getting what the pupils are saying, and through that they are going to learn about the disease TB. So that as you heard from them from the theme, by 2030 you want to eradicate the disease, which is TB.
Meanwhile, the representative for Central Province TB Coordinator, Joseph Nyirenda, says more information about tuberculosis needs to be disseminated to people ahead of the World TB Day.
When children get something from school, to them it is gospel truth. They will go even to their homes, talk to their parents about the disease. And then parents will get this information. As you are aware, it's not easy to get the correct information to our parents in the community. So when they get this information through debates, they'll actually understand, and it will be a good way of transmitting our information to the people.
The learners also appreciated the event.
To follow the preventive measures, get regular checkups and avoid these crowded places.
Eradicating tuberculosis by 2030 is an achievable target only if stakeholders work together. Tina Kabamba reporting for Zanis in Shirunji District, Central Province.
Still on tuberculosis, government has expressed worry over the continued high prevalence rate of tuberculosis in mining towns on the Copper Belt. Ministry of Health Copper Belt Acting TB and HIV Coordinator Moses Kiembe says the TB caseload is very high in the province, with Kitwe District recording the highest number of cases. Here is Lizzie Ngobeka with the rest of the story.
Mining districts have continued struggling with a high caseload of tuberculosis cases. On the Copper Belt, Kitwe District has a leading caseload. This has been attributed to mining activities and people's reluctance to seek medical care.
The Kitwe District is standing as first in TB burden, that is in Copper Belt, because we have also a number of cases that are being diagnosed using the facilities or diagnostic facilities that we have in place. And according to the statistics, it shows that Kitwe is the highest in TB burden. Mining activities are also contributing because we need protective and also not overcrowded areas.
The Ministry of Health has now resorted to using schools through competitive debates to step up TB community sensitization. With the sponsorship of CIDAS, an inter-schools debate competition on TB is underway among selected schools on the Core Belt under the motion, "Should mining be halted in Zambia in order to eradicate TB and other respiratory infections?"
And we appreciate that you could suggest as the organizers that we do the commemoration together as education. So for us, we don't take it lightly as the Minister of Education, because you've been our always our friendly partners, and for entrusting us that we can commemorate that day with you and informal debates like this one. We really cherish, and we hope we could have more debates that are coming, because we know all the commemorations that you have. World AIDS Day also coming in December, HTTC, HIV testing and testing, all those are special days. So our schools stand ready to want to create, or whatever you may think of, our schools are always ready.
The Ministry of Health hopes the TB debate competition will be effective in sensitizing the public against TB. With various intervention measures put in place in the fight against TB, Zambia is expected to drastically reduce the disease caseload by the year 2030.
We know that TB is a disease of public health concern. So we need to fight it, as it is said at the 10th legacy goal of Ministry of Health, which says we need to fight TB to its elimination by 2030. And that is our fight we have right now. When we come here, we need to take advantage of these events so that we can spread the information to reach people with this information so that they can take measures to reach the facilities and get screened for TB. Kitwe is second for the nation when it comes to TB burden. And it means all of us were involved as a province. And we need to take that as a serious concern for us to take good measures and stop the spread of TB infection.
Liz Ngobeka reporting for Zanis in Kitwe.
The news continues. Heavy rains experienced in some parts of Chibombo district a few days ago have left Malambanyama Rural Health Center and the surrounding communities flooded. The situation is now making it hard for community members to access the health facility. Chibombo District Commissioner Roy Kaeka, who visited the health center, says the facility will start operating from a temporary structure on drier ground if water levels do not subside. Trevor Lubala now reports.
It last rained a few days ago, but the area around Malambanyama Rural Health Center is still flooded. Community members are now finding it difficult to access the facility.
When it rains, we're usually inconvenienced. We don't even receive patients here, especially labor ward, that side. You find that people are even delivering from the road side, that side, because they are unable to cross. The water is just too much.
The situation is becoming bad each and every day, and we are hoping that the office of the DC will somehow find a solution to this dangerous thing. As you can see, the water is extremely bad.
The situation is also posing challenges to the health workers.
My office will engage the office of the council secretary to see to it that probably we can have a drainage to divert the water. Instead of the water coming to the facility, it can be diverted. There's a nearby stream where the water can be diverted to, and at least that will see this place to be dry. We also wish to request DMMO as well to come in. We have two of our facilities, staff toilets, that have collapsed.
And the Chibombo District Commissioner Lloyd Kaeka says temporary shelter could be considered for the facility.
The situation is not good here. There is a lot of water flooding almost the whole infrastructure for the clinic here at Malambanyama. If the rains will continue, it just needs to find an alternative, even to put tents somewhere, so that temporarily before the rain stops, the officers can know where to be saving the community.
Trevor Lubala for Zanis in Chibombo District.
Copperbelt Minister Elisha Matambo has urged the people in the province to avoid acts that pose threats to protected forest reserves. Mr. Matambo said this during the planting of 1,000 fruit trees in Mapalo Ward in Ndola district. Here is a report by Tovin Ngombe.
The residents of Chiprukus area in Ndola have joined hands with the Forest Department and with the support of the development aid from people to people in Zambia, DAP, to take a center stage in fighting climate change through planting 1,000 trees at their backyards.
Trees protect us from strong winds. Trees also facilitate rainfall. Without trees, people experience droughts.
Copperbelt Minister Elisha Matambo joined the residents in their effort to tackle the effects of climate change, which is having an impact on the livelihood of every person as floods are increasing in intensity each year.
We should not only know how to cut trees, but much more on how to replenish them. Trees take very long time to grow and reach maturity, but it takes only a few minutes to cut. Let us therefore be very conscious of our actions and the effects that our actions will have on our children.
DAP project coordinator urged the residents that poverty cannot be eradicated unless climate change is addressed.
Challenges in climate pose a threat to national food insecurity as the increase in temperatures, more extreme weather causes floods, droughts, and increased rainfall variability.
DAP, working with the community, is spearheading the campaign to reduce the cutting of the already existing trees. Tovin Ngombe, Zanis, Ndola.
Also in the news, a traditional leader in Chief Mapanza's chiefdom in Choma district has applauded government for introducing a single window initiative aimed at strengthening the social protection system. And Symposia village head woman Bridget Monga says the initiative will help in coordinating and monitoring of all social protection programs being implemented in the district. Here are the details.
With increased funding to social protection programs, community orientation on project identification, accountability, and monitoring is key. To ensure that social protection programs bear a long-term benefits in communities, government and partners in Choma district are implementing a single window initiative to capacity build beneficiaries in project implementation process. This initiative has targeted beneficiaries' social cash transfer and other empowerment programs meant to improve their living standard at a zonal level. Symposia village head woman in Chief Mapanza's chiefdom is happy with this initiative.
Omusanga ngubatuletera wa single window na mpurungwido yomwe meboro wangu ndesipohenda utambula amanzo vile wandibotera kambuga kuti kwali kuba kuti so twali kubanga tulati hamininwa twali mu ruyengo mbuli hama fertilizer mbuli hamwaga uno wina intwa katambula fertilizer kabotu imara ya horaba majembere bamwe bamajembere fanunga mari abaya bayiminina baba abona mari barota babone pekamboga kutabara banyama besu barahwa baragiswa irugwa herwa utukore tututuja newo urugwa he bina kutarwa he winkati twaguhi eno jatu kwa hauti babo wara kutujura kuti batujure kuti koterede ugamkuwo so imuswanga no bantu no basima buguma amutambura nyobo twakubora kumayisha.
Choma District Fisheries and Livestock Coordinator Dr. Alex Hajangu encourages the community to consider rehabilitating dipping tanks.
So the only way to keep down these diseases now is to dip weekly. So we need to utilize such facilities like dip tanks. That's the reason why we're encouraging the community to apply under CDF to have this dip tank innovated as soon as possible.
Choma District Community Development Officer Esther Bwali outlines the main objective of the single window initiative.
Single window inception is a coordinated system where you are able to track social protection service providers
Gift Banji, Zanis, in Choma District, Southern Province.
And in climate change news, World Vision Zambia, with support from the Australian government, has launched a 5-year land restoration and forest regeneration project pegged at $5 million United States dollars. The project targets to benefit more than 5,000 people from 3 districts, namely Katete, Sinda, and Chiwombo districts. Here is a report by Hope Walia.
Momentum to restore and regenerate forests is steadily building up as World Vision Zambia launches a 5-year project aimed at fostering the regeneration of forests. Speaking during the launch of the project, dubbed Sustainable Land Restoration Project in Katete District of Eastern Province, Ministry of Green Economy and Environment Policy Planning Director Lewis Mwila graced the event on behalf of the Minister, Collins Nzovu.
The government of Zambia remains committed to ensuring that policy reforms are in place to enhance environmental management. Further, progressive projects that address the scourge are being implemented in various areas for the benefit of not only these local project areas, but the entire country.
And the Australian government hinted on some of the benefits that will come as a result of the project.
This program will help farming communities access the resources they need to adapt and respond to the climate change, but with it, it will bring important economic opportunities and strengthen human development for farmers and communities and their families.
Meanwhile, World Vision Zambia highlighted some of the aims that the project wants to achieve.
The overall goal of this project we're launching today is to regenerate 150,000 hectares of degraded land in Zambia, impacting over 5,000 people across 3 districts. Furthermore, World Vision has an ambitious agenda, and this agenda is to regenerate 1 million hectares of degraded land by 2030, contributing to the AFRI 100, which aims to restore 100 million hectares of land across Africa.
Hope Walia, Katete District, Eastern Province.
And in the education sector, Health Learners, a non-profit organization, has partnered with government to construct 22 health rooms to facilitate the provision of health services to school-going children in Monze District. Organization Deputy Director Patrick Kiwanda says the goal of the project is to fast-track the provision of health care to learners.
As a way of supporting government through the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Health, the focus is on these 6 to 15, 17 years of age who are primarily in the primary schools. The things that will be happening is that when a learner falls sick, they will go to this health room that we are assisting government construct. This health room will be manned by a school health teacher that will have undergone training for 10 days. So these school health teachers will be equipped in terms of skills and knowledge to handle minor cases, first aid in other words. So for Monze, the focus is on 22 schools that meet the criteria of selection. And these 22 schools are housed in 19 health facilities. Once demand is created, it's expected that the government can roll this program to the rest of the schools, if possible, to all the schools in Monza.
And finally, the Ministry of Transport and Logistics has made a request to the Barose Royal Establishment in Western Province to allocate land to government to facilitate the construction of an international airport in Mongu District. Speaking at Limulunga Royal Palace in Limulunga District, Minister of Transport and Logistics Frank Tayali said that his ministry is working towards enabling the people of Western Province to also have road and aviation connectivity. Here are the details.
The need for the country to achieve intra-connectivity as well as connectivity to neighboring countries is one of President Hakainde Hichilema's pronouncements. And it is for this reason that the Minister of Transport and Logistics, Honorable Frank Tayali, has visited Western Province to make a request to the Barose Royal Establishment of Western Province to allocate land to government to facilitate for the construction of an international airport in Mongu district.
In our budget this year, through the President's pronouncements, I think that funds have been made available to look into Kasama Airport. As you are aware, we're looking into Solwezi, we're looking into Mansa, and there's no way we can leave Mongu out of this, because His Majesty has agreed in principle to work with the government to be able to establish a proper airport in this part of the country.
And the BR Ingambela Mukela Manyando said the establishment is grateful that government is planning to improve air travel in Western Province.
We are grateful that that government is thinking of and considering planning improving air flight in Western Province. The Minister gave us good news, and we are looking forward to the actualization of this plan. And as a Baruti Royal establishment, we are excited, and we shall give all the support that we can.
Meanwhile, Acting Permanent Secretary Richard Mulwanda said that once the aviation industry is developed, Western Province will have an opportunity to do business with neighboring countries.
We have Namibia and Angola, and these countries actually, are huge markets in terms of various products. You may be aware that our brothers in Angola import their chickens as far as Brazil. So we have one opportunity here in Western Province. Once we develop the aviation industry, it becomes much easier for our brothers in Angola, in Namibia, to land here.
Investment in a country's air transport sector is important for its economic development. It creates employment, facilitates trade, enables tourism, and supports sustainable development. Namakao Kayombo, reporting for Zanis in Mongu, Western Province.
That item from Western Province brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, another look at the top stories in our news. Government committed to upholding cultural values. Security wings have intercepted over 30 trucks carrying maize without export permits. Chiwombo floods disrupt health delivery services in Chiwombo district. And World Vision launches $5 million United States forest restoration project. That is all we had packaged for you on Zanis News. On behalf of the entire news production crew, my name is Henry Himonde. Join us again tomorrow for another edition. It's goodbye for now.